Okay, we are live, and it is great to be here with you today. It's the coach saying, "Isn't it great to be here?" It is. It is. Um, we're going to talk today about doubling your sales. So I know if you're with us today, you are definitely excited about this one because what else would you want to do but to double the number of sales that you have? We're also excited to let you know today that in the next 3 weeks, preceding our big boot camp on the 22nd, we will be having some of our speakers as guests here on Friday. So, this is Coach Manny. We're here every Friday, but let's get going because this is what we're going to talk about today: doubling your sales. Now, I know that sometimes you look at that and you say, I think that's a pretty far reaching process, don't you, Manny? No, I really don't think it's that far reaching. Everybody wants more sales, don't they? And more profit. So the question only becomes, what are you doing to get there? And what I want to look at today to help you in getting there is channels. Because to me, channels are the most important thing that's going to help you accomplish that thing. And what do we mean by channels? So let me take a moment and this is what we're talking about. Sales channels. So and this week you can see on our blog, our article will be out there. If you're on my newsletter list, you'll see that as well. But we're gonna this is actually going to be on an article, and we're also going to flip the video on there. So if you have to leave or you can't see it all, you can see it then. But sales channels are nothing more, and here's what I want you to think of them as: prospecting methods. The key is we all prospect, we all have different ways to prospect. We all talk about we're doing this or that, but none of us really takes a look at the whole picture. In other words, what I want you to do after you watch tonight is I want you to start creating the sales channel report. And we are actually have a download for you today. So you can watch this download. I'm sorry. You can watch this and then download the worksheet, and you can take the worksheet and then create your own sales channels work process. So it's exciting to be here with you today. This is the coach, and let's get going on those channels. Channels are prospecting methods. And when we say that, let us be sure we understand. What's a prospecting method you have? Cold calling, networking, Facebook, social media, other social media. What are they? You need a list of them. And the example that we're going to let you download at the end is we'll have some of these already set up for you. But today in this hangout, all we're going to do is go through 3 of them, give you some idea of how we handle those, and then let you download the worksheet and go out and do your own. Now, this is a big part of a presentation that I will be doing at the boot camp. So hopefully you'll get there. So let's say we have these channels and we're going to do some work on them. Let's just start with 3. And the 3 I've selected today are 3 that are just, everybody has these. At least I think everybody does. So the first one we're going to talk about is networking. Networking. This is a sales channel. Now, you can further break this down, as you'll see on the worksheet when you download it, into specific types of networking. Like I go to this group regularly. I go to this group semi-annually. I go to this group when they have something. But networking is a channel. And for each channel today, we're going to show you some action items as well. But when we look at networking, what we're really saying is it's time. It's time to get out there and to meet people. That's what networking is about. But not just meeting people. if you read my book, My Sales Follow-Up Sucks, you'll know that it's much more than meeting people. It is actually building relationships with those people. And that requires something that I know some of you out there are hesitant. It requires putting yourself out there. It requires doing it. But here's what, this is just something that I really want you to understand is when you go to a networking event and you walk in, there are a few people out there that are network gurus like myself. Most people have a shyness about them. That's one of the reasons I wrote this book called The Many Ways to Network Successfully. Now, this book, and I did it in conjunction with one of my partners, this book is an amazing piece that will help you. And the reason I wrote the book was because people keep telling me, I'm afraid, I'm shy. Or there's all these people that are weird out there. There are. And one of the chapters in the book, in fact, talks about the weird people you meet at networking. But this also gives you some hint, and you can pick this up on Amazon. I think it's $3. So for the Kindle version. So get yourself a copy. That is one thing you need to do. But remember, everyone, most other people out there, they're the same as you. They're not super networkers. They're shy too. So get out there and really start spending time networking. And again, if you feel this is an area that you might need some help in, this is one of the greatest things we do at our networking, at our boot camp, is we actually have a 3-hour event. So if you've been shy, check out that 3-hour event, because what we're going to do is I'm going to put up on the wall something about networking. I'm going to teach it to you. And then you know what we're going to do? We're going to let you do it. 15 minutes. You're going to do it. You're going to learn. You're going to build a relationship with somebody there. Then we're going to teach you another tip. And then you're going to do the same thing again. You get good at networking only one way. And you know what that way is? By doing it. So this week, I always tell you, and I heard a great thing today. Let me share that to you. It came from an old Tony Robbins teaching I was looking through. And it really said this. This is why I hope you're taking notes out there this morning. It says, if you go to an event and you listen to the speaker, and then you leave, you got about a 10% retention. And pretty soon that's it. You remember maybe 10%. However, if you take yourself a piece of paper like this and you start keeping notes, that goes up to 50%. Now, if you participate, and this is why we do an interactive boot camp, if you participate, that goes up to somewhere around 80%. So if you want to learn how to network, then come to the boot camp. But this is what I want you to do as well. This week I have an action for you, 2 events every week. 2 events every week. I know some of you out there might shake a little bit. Some of you out there might not feel real comfortable with that. But what I'm trying to teach you is if you go to 2 events every week and you make a personal commitment, I mean, it's got to come from inside you that I'm going to network. You are going to be better than I am, because you know what? The only reason I'm good at networking is I do it all the time. All right, so networking is a channel. Now, one thing you'll see on the spreadsheet that I do is I break it down into, I belong to a lead group that meets once a week. That's one part of the networking channel. I do another group that meets twice a month. That's another group. So in the networking channel, I will actually break it down. And as you'll see at the end of this presentation today, we're also going to track how many leads and how much money. All right, let's go to number 2. And number 2 is like the most exciting thing I see going on out there today. And it is this channel, LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, this channel is unbelievable. It is like, I call it LinkedIn. I call it like networking on steroids, because it really is. Uh, you you know, it's a gold mine right out there. It's like walking into a room of millions of people. Do you see that? Millions of people, and you can break that down into 500,000 people that meet the criteria that you want. So just think, what would it be like if you could walk into a networking event where everyone at that networking event was a prospect? They were the kind of people that you were looking for. If you sold a certain type of software, everyone in there was a potential buyer. Where would you be? Wouldn't you be excited? That's what LinkedIn has. You've got to really understand that and take a moment and get out there and start every day. Again, if you don't feel you're comfortable with LinkedIn, where do I want you? I want you at the boot camp. Why? Because I've got one super expert that's going to be doing a grand presentation. And then I've got some more people like myself and others throughout the crowd who are just there that you can tap our brain, and we will show you stuff in LinkedIn that you've never tried. LinkedIn, walk into a room with thousands of people who need what you have, and you have a way to connect with them. Isn't that, I mean, it's just amazing. Here's what I want you to do this week. What I want you to start doing is pick a number. In other words, say, I'm going to go into LinkedIn every day during the week. Now, just make that commitment. You're not going to make it every day, but if you make the commitment, you will make it 99%. So make a commitment and say, every day I am going to prospect and try to connect with 10 new people, 20, 50, 100, whatever the number is. And then every day track it. So here's your task. Here's your action item under this one. Pick a number, and that's how many it's right. Prospects I want you every day to find in LinkedIn. And just go in there, put your criteria in, bring them up, and say, I like to connect with these people. Now, you can get some people that'll do up to 100 of these for you a day. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just 10? I mean, when you go to most networking events, how many people do you find that match what you're looking for? Why do you think I'm so excited about LinkedIn? Wait to see some of the stuff we're going to do after this year's boot camp with LinkedIn, because we are excited. LinkedIn is like networking in this globe. Oh my gosh. All right. Let me go to number 3 now. If you're not, number 3 is the one that might make some of you a little shaky, because people hate this one. And it is one of the biggest gold mines you got next to LinkedIn, and that is referrals. How long do we have to keep teaching about referrals? Oh my gosh, we are so excited about referrals. There's so many out there. What are you doing with them? I can tell you that truthfully, most people don't ask for them. Most of you probably out there, you don't ask for them. How many of you are afraid? Oh my gosh, let me hide. I don't want to ask. I might make my customer angry. Look, do you take great care of your customers? I know most of you out there probably fall over backwards to take care of your customers. You are so customer focused, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to me today, would you? This is not an event for people who aren't fired up. You wouldn't even be listening to me. You're fired up. You're excited about it. And so what are you doing? Are you asking these people who love you to share with you their network, to give you a referral? Have you asked these questions? Do you like what I'm doing for you? When's the last? I mean, do you like what I'm doing for you? Do you like the work that I do? Is it good? Would you recommend me to someone? Would you recommend me to someone? Just think about that. How many of your customers would recommend you? Most of them, right? Especially the ones that you're doing a great job with. And I think that's probably most of them, right? When you think about it, most customers you're probably doing a great job for. Or you could say, could you introduce me to your neighbors over here? You have a customer that's in a big office building. Do they know the people next to them? Or in a industrial park, do they know the people next to them? Or in a business area somewhere, an executive park, they know the people around there. Would they introduce you? Have you ever asked? I can tell you that most people make that mistake. They don't ask. And I'm always like, why don't you ask? It's so easy to do this, but they don't. So, what I want you to do is start asking. Or you can even, those of you who have gotten into LinkedIn, you could even go through their connections because they're a customer. I certainly hope they're connected with you on LinkedIn. And so you could go through their connections. Excuse me, I got this cough going on. You could go through their connections and say, hey, I see you're connected to Joe, Jim, and Mary. Would you mind doing an introduction? Do you think your I mean, let's flip it around. This is what I always like to do when I talk about referrals. Flip it around for a minute and say, suppose people that you are the customer to, and they came to you and they said, Manny, do you like work I'm doing for you? And I, of course, would say, of course I like the work you're doing for me. And then they'd say, I'm really sorry. They would say, do you like the work we're doing for you? And of course you would say, yeah, I love the work you're doing for me. Would you give me a referral? Would I say no to you? If I'm your customer, do you think I would really say no to you? Of course not. And that's where you need to get to. And here's your action for this week. I need you to ask there we go. Ask 2 clients for referrals this week. Can you do that? Can you just get out there this week and ask 2 people for a referral? And what'll happen? Now, what you've seen today is me walk through 3 channels that you could potentially use. Now, you probably have a lot more than 3 channels, and you have to determine which channels are working, which things are working for you. And that's where we get to in tracking. It's critically important that you track how many leads each channel gives you. Now think about that. How many leads does each channel get for you? So I could say that by networking over the last month or over the last week, I got 6 leads out of networking. I got 5 new leads out of LinkedIn, and I got 2 out referrals. Wow. Do you know those numbers? Have you looked up tracking? But not just the leads. We also track what we end up closing. Because again, how much business did you close from that particular channel? And the spreadsheet allows you to do all this because the way the spreadsheet's set up, and I'm a little late today, so I ask for your apologies. Otherwise, I'd have a demo up here. And I'm also not that good yet on the Hangouts, so we can buzz in and out of pictures, but we'll get there. But so what I want to show you is that here's the way it works. Part 1 is these are all the channels And that's what I want you to do, is create that list. Second part is, these are the things I'm going to do. Every day I'm going to do a Facebook post. Every day I'm going to do a LinkedIn post. Every day. That's the kind of stuff you got to put on here, and you can check which things you're going to do. Once a week, I'm going to do a newsletter. Twice a week, I'm going to do networking. Every Thursday, I have a specific networking event. Then, in the next piece of the sheet, you put down what actually happens. So then at the end of the week, you can say, I was going to go to 2 networking events. I went to 3. That's a plus, right? And then the very last 2 columns you put down, I got this many leads from this source. And you define what a qualified lead is for you. And then if you closed any business, the dollars, the total amount, and say, this week I got 10 leads through my channel and I closed, $20,000 worth of business, whatever it is. That is the way I want you to manage. Remember, I had three channels we looked at today. We looked at channel number 1, and I think I have them here, networking. Get out there and start networking. Channel number 2 was LinkedIn. And then channel number 3 was referrals. So when you think about those 3 things, networking, LinkedIn, and referrals, what other channels do you have? Now I want you to remember those actions, right? Actions for this week. 2 networking events. I tell people at least 2 networking events every week. You want to double your sales? Double your effort. Triple your effort. I mean, if you're going to 1 event a week and you go to 2, do you think it'll make a difference? If you go to 2 and you go to 4, will it make a difference? Of course it will. You want to double your sales? You got to put that effort in there. Stop hesitating. Number 2, the prospects in LinkedIn. Pick a number. If you're going out and you're asking for 3 new connections a week, what would happen if you did 10 a day? If all of a sudden you were asking for 50 new connections a week, do you think your business would double? Of course it would. The more you prospect, the greater the success. You have got to understand that. And finally, what would happen if not 2? I asked you to do 2 this week. What would happen if you just asked for 2 referrals a month from your customer base? Do you think your business would grow? Why did we call this doubling your sales? Because I've just experienced today with you 3 channels that you have. And those 3 channels alone can double your business. What if you looked at all of them? Remember to track 2 important things in every channel and totally. Track how many leads. If you go to networking, and when I used to run sales teams, this was one of the big things. Don't tell me you want to go to a show or an event if you don't have leads. And further, if those leads don't turn into dollars. Those are the 2 key items. Now, I want to just talk a few minutes about the boot camp, and then I'm going to give you the link for the download on the worksheet that you can use to really implement this a little better. First of all, there's my website, MannyNowak.com. It takes you to the Decision Institute, which then you click on Marketing Automation Bootcamp, and then you sign up. $97. Do you like what you're getting today? And maybe you've joined us in the last few weeks. Is this powerful? Is it helping? Is it making you better at what you do? Great. Then get signed up for our boot camp. We charge you $97. That's it. 2 days. And if you can't make it 2 days, come for what you can. You come for day 1, you're never going to want to not be there. So, again, there's the link. Takes you to a website. Takes you to my website. Click on Marketing Automation. and then get signed up. You can see all the stuff going out there. We just put the agenda up. We've just put some further descriptions up. You can see all the speakers. I mean, when you read through that, you're going to say, I got to be there. And we may actually try to bring it up next week. Now, if you're ready to work channels, then I want you to go to this site, Coach Manny Tip. And this site is always changing. This link is never the same. But today, and for the next couple of days, we have it set up to automatically go to the sheet. What'll happen is you'll put in your email and your name. It'll generate it down to our process, and then within a little while, we will send you automatically, we'll email you the worksheet. So CoachMannyTip.com. And it'll be up for a little while. Get the worksheet and start using it. Wow. Are you as excited as I am? I'm just excited about this channel process because what it allows I've been excited about it. What it allows people to do is say, look at the ways I can generate business. I've never been able to do this before. So, CoachMannyTip.com, MannyNowak.com to get to the boot camp. If you remember that you first got excited on watching one of these, and that's how you came to the boot camp, send me an email. I love to send me an email, maybe send me a phone number. Maybe we could spend a few minutes on the phone because we want to. What is this? What is this hangout? This is a channel, isn't it? This is one of my channels to generate business. But it's a double channel because first it's a channel on Hangouts, then it's a channel on YouTube. Wow. This is Coach Manny. We're always searching for a better world, and we hope you are too. We hope you're excited about being here today. We hope you've picked up some great knowledge. We'll see you next week. And next week we should have our first guest, someone from the boot camp. We'll see you then. Continue to have a great day.